Let's get right into it. Number 1. Teeth falling out. You wake up in a cold sweat, heart pounding, convinced you just lost every tooth in your mouth. Sound familiar? The teeth falling out dream is one of the most universal and unsettling dreams out there. But it's not just about dental drama. Psychologists say this dream is often a sign of anxiety about your appearance, fear of aging, or a sense of losing control in your waking life. Maybe you're worried about how others see you, or you're facing a big change that makes you feel vulnerable. Some cultures even believe this dream is a warning to pay attention to your words. Are you saying something you'll regret? The contrast is striking. In real life, losing teeth is a childhood milestone, but in dreams, it's a jarring symbol of insecurity. If you keep having this dream, don't ignore it. It's your mind's way of telling you to check in with yourself. Are you feeling powerless or just afraid of what's next? Sometimes, the scariest dreams are the ones that push us to face what we're really worried about. Number 2. Being chased. You're running as fast as you can, but your legs feel like they're made of concrete. Something or someone is right behind you, and no matter how hard you try, you just can't get away. The being chased dream is a classic, and it's rarely about the actual chase. Instead, it's your subconscious putting a spotlight on something you're avoiding in real life. Maybe it's a tough conversation, a looming deadline, or a responsibility you keep pushing aside. The chaser in your dream could be a faceless shadow, a wild animal, or even someone you know. But the message is always the same. You're running from something that needs your attention. The contrast here is powerful. While you might feel powerless in the dream, waking life gives you the chance to face what's chasing you. Ignoring this dream is like hitting snooze on a fire alarm. Your mind is urging you to stop running and deal with what's making you anxious. Next time you wake up breathless, ask yourself, what am I avoiding and why? Facing it head-on might be the only way to finally outrun your fear. Number 3. Falling. You're standing somewhere high, maybe a rooftop, a cliff, or even just the top of a staircase, when suddenly, the ground disappears beneath you. You're falling, heart racing, stomach lurching, and just before you hit the ground, you jolt awake. The falling dream is so common it's almost a rite of passage, but it's never just about gravity. Psychologists say this dream usually points to a loss of control, insecurity, or fear of failure in your waking life. Maybe you're worried about a big decision, or you feel like things are slipping through your fingers. The contrast is clear. In dreams, you're helpless, but in reality, you might have more control than you think. Some experts even believe falling dreams are your brain's way of processing stress or sudden changes. Ignoring this dream is like ignoring a warning sign on a winding road. Your subconscious is telling you to slow down, check your footing, and figure out what's making you feel so unsteady. Next time you wake up from a fall, don't just brush it off. Ask yourself where you need to regain. Number 4. Unprepared for an exam or important event. You walk into a classroom, look down and realize you forgot to study, or worse, you're not wearing pants. Maybe it's not a classroom at all, but a big meeting, a performance, or any situation where you're suddenly painfully unprepared. This dream is a classic for anyone who's ever felt the pressure to perform. Psychologists say it's less about the actual test and more about self-doubt, fear of being judged, or imposter syndrome creeping in. The contrast is sharp. In the dream, you're exposed and vulnerable, but in real life, you might be more capable than you give yourself credit for. These dreams often pop up when you're facing new challenges or big changes, like starting a new job or taking on extra responsibility. Ignoring this dream is like ignoring your own anxiety. Your mind is telling you to prepare, trust yourself, and remember that nobody is perfect. Next time you wake up sweating from a pop quiz you never studied for, take it as a sign to check in with your confidence. Sometimes, your brain just wants you to know you're ready, even if you don't feel like it. Number 5. Losing someone or something valuable. You're searching everywhere, through crowded streets, endless hallways, or even your own home. But no matter how hard you look, you can't find what you've lost. Sometimes it's a person, like a friend or family member who suddenly disappears. Other times it's something precious, a pet, a prized possession, or even your sense of direction. This dream hits hard because it taps into our deepest fears of loss and change. Psychologists say these dreams often surface when you're dealing with real-life transitions, grief, or the anxiety of letting go. The contrast is striking. In the dream, you're desperate and helpless, but in waking life, you might be holding on too tightly to something or someone that's already changing. Ignoring this dream is like ignoring a slow leak in your emotional life. Your subconscious is nudging you to process your feelings, accept change, and maybe even say goodbye. Next time you wake up with that hollow, searching feeling, ask yourself what you're afraid to lose. Sometimes the only way to move forward is to let go, even if it's just a little at a time. Number 6. Being trapped or paralyzed. You find yourself stuck, maybe in a tiny room with no doors, tangled in invisible ropes, or frozen in place while everyone else moves freely. No matter how hard you try, you just can't break free. The being trapped or paralyzed dream is a powerful signal from your subconscious, and it's almost never random. Psychologists say this dream often points to feeling stuck, powerless, or overwhelmed in your waking life. Maybe you're caught in a job you hate, a relationship that's going nowhere, or a situation where you feel like you have no control. The contrast is intense. In the dream, you're completely immobilized, but in reality, you might have more options than you realize. Ignoring this dream is like ignoring a warning light on your dashboard. Your mind is telling you it's time to look for an exit, set boundaries, or ask for help. Next time you wake up feeling suffocated, don't just shake it off. Ask yourself where you feel trapped in your life. Sometimes the first step to freedom is simply admitting you want out. Number 7. Encountering a mysterious stranger. You're in a dream and suddenly you meet someone you've never seen before. Maybe they're friendly, maybe they're intimidating, or maybe they just feel oddly familiar. This mysterious stranger could be anyone, a wise guide, a shadowy figure, or even someone who seems to know all your secrets. Psychologists believe that strangers in dreams often represent hidden parts of yourself, new opportunities, or unresolved anxieties. The contrast is fascinating. In the dream, you're face-to-face with the unknown, but in waking life, you might be on the verge of discovering something new about yourself or your future. Sometimes these strangers show up when you're about to make a big decision or when life is pushing you out of your comfort zone. Ignoring this dream is like ignoring a knock at the door. You never know what you might be missing. Next time you wake up wondering who that person was, ask yourself what new possibilities or challenges you're facing. Sometimes the stranger is just your own potential.